All right, now we're down to our album of the year. And instead of going back and forth, I kind of have this feeling that we all have the same one. So maybe we can just maybe we can just go down a line and all say our album of the year and then then open the floor for discussion. Okay, let's do it. My album of the year is
What up, y'all? Welcome back to another Stereo Vision video.
What's good? Happy almost 2024.
I know, we back with this end of the year content, man. It's been literally a year, I guess, you know what I mean? But it feels like fucking forever, bro. We're doing our albums of the year list.
We got our top 10 albums. We each made a list. We got 3 honorable mentions apiece. We're just going to go through them for you guys.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a good year in music. 2023 has been interesting. A lot of storylines, a lot of heavy hitters dropped, you know what I mean? A lot of people were rumored to drop, didn't. So I'm excited to see what these guys thought was some of the best music of the year.
All right, I'm going to kick it off. These are my top albums of the year. These are my honorable mentions, 3 albums that I really wanted to find space for on my list, but, there was just too many strong projects this year. I'm going to start with Bewilderment by Pale J. I wasn't really familiar with Pale J until before this year. And I absolutely fell in love with the soundscape that he creates. I don't know, it was just a vibe that I couldn't find anywhere else this year. My second honorable mention is Ganger by V's. This was a really great project, super player. It took me a little bit to get into it, but once I did, I was like, oh, this is something that hits hard, but also I can really get behind. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of talk about in the reactions, it's real player rap, cash shit, cool shit that's kind of uplifting, makes you feel good about yourself, but also just a unique delivery. My third honorable mention was Scarlet by Doja Cat.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like that album. I really like the singles. Okay. I continued to play that. Obviously, 3 of the singles besides Demons, so it's Paint the Town Red, Balut, and Attention all got consistent play from the time they dropped from me, but also some album cuts like Skull and Bones, and like Love Life. Like some of these songs just continued to find their way into my daily rotation. So those are my 3 honorable mentions.
Bet.
I like that list a lot.
Yeah, I like all those.
You.
I'm interested. I thought Doja might actually make your list.
It's just a little bit too much filler.
Yeah.
If it was a little shorter, it could have gotten on there, but a little too many songs I didn't love. But the highs were high.
I feel it. For my 3 honorable mentions, I was on my sim shit. You know what I mean? The shit that got me in my feelings a little bit. Maybe wasn't the stuff that I played every single day, but I definitely played the fuck out of all this a lot. Some beautiful music. I think the first 2 I want to touch on, Kali Uchis, Red Moon and Venus. Fire, bro. I think that what really cemented that album for me was seeing it live at Camp Flog Gnaw. She did a couple songs off there. Just super, super impressive. Kali's always been one of the artists that I've been paying attention to because of her association with Tyler. Petals to Thorns by D4VD, David. Incredible. New nigga on the scene this year. Really, really powerful voice. Great songwriter. He recorded a lot of the songs that blew him up off his fucking Apple AirPods speakers or whatever in his sister's bedroom. It's a great story. Then shout out the guy, Noah Glassman. I got Fountain Baby as my 3rd honorable mention by Amare.
Incredible.
I'm an Afrobeat fan, if you know, and this is a completely different take on the genre for real. I think that's the closest thing that I could compare it to, but Amare is really a boundless artist. Singles to the fucking deep cuts, everything is high energy, unique, a voice like you've never heard before, getting in this super high vocal register that's unique, but also like really infectious. Those are my 3.
That's a good list.
Yeah, I really like that list. Okay. All right, are we going to me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let me start with a heavy hitter, For All the Dogs by Drake. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, I did want to put this in my top 10 because I feel like Drake deserves top 10. But let's be real, guys. He fell flat this year.
You're the only one that's going to talk about Drake, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I didn't put it in anything.
No, he fell. Yeah. I mean, but this. So my bottom 3, I consider this more my bottom 3 than anything else, right? Yeah. It's like it could have made the list, but it just fell kind of flat. And I feel like For All the Dogs, right? It's got some highlights. It's got some fun parts. It's got some energetic parts. Drake is a hit maker. We all know this, but at the end of the day, he failed to deliver a cohesive album. Number 2, Halo by Bakar.
Okay.
Bakar is a super dope artist, and honestly, I would have put this in my top, but there's just too many good albums this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that the shortcomings put him in my honorable mentions. He's just too small of an artist right now, but he's super dope. Had the privilege of seeing him live in LA, and just his talent and creativity is out of this world. I had to include him in this list because I'm just this huge fan. I think last on this list, Falling or Flying by Georgia Smith.
Okay.
There it is. Okay.
Georgia Smith, super talented songstress. I think she's kind of had a little bit of a rocky year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think her fans have stayed solid and have stayed true to her, but the album didn't get a lot of pickup to me. I listened through it, and unfortunately, I have somebody else on my list that I think kind of stole her shine this year. You know what I mean? So I had to put her in the bottom. But Georgia, don't get it twisted, is extremely talented. The album is still good. I still listen to it on shuffle. I just don't listen to it as a cohesive project.
So those are the ones that didn't quite make our list, but now, let's get into our top 10
shit.
albums.
Let's get to the shit.
Let's go.
All right, I'm starting at number 10. This was an album where honestly, I had an interesting relationship with hip hop this year. That was more complicated than it's been years past. It's the genre that
Nigga
really
sound like he dating the genre.
bro, it felt like I've been in a very happy relationship with hip hop for the last 8 years of my life, and this year we finally had some struggles. You know what I'm saying?
Your first fight.
Yeah, literally our first fights. But one of the albums that got me through that first fight, it was Gumbo by Young Nudy.
Ooh.
Fire.
I almost put it.
Yeah, I think a project that just continued to get better the more that I listened to it. Off rip, it was really good. His music is always really good, but it's a project that was really, I feel like, delicately crafted. And in a way, he always builds worlds in a great way. And just going in the theme, Gumbo being the album title, all the songs being named after food, it's already attention grabbing. And then when you get into some of those songs and some of the moods, like a passion fruit as the outro and just the vibe that he creates, the pockets that he finds across the whole album, just a really incredible album that really, kind of gave me hope in hip hop and in hip hop that I've historically liked.
Street rap, bro. It's the most world building I've seen in street rap in a long time.
Yeah.
Nudy really is a character and brings you into his world and what he sees, Atlanta, whatever area he's moving around as. It's vivid pictures.
Somehow he does it without ever being corny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People worry about
Fendi
being corny when they build worlds and they play characters, but Nudy never ever even borders that. You know what I mean? He's effortlessly cool.
So a theme for me this year was unexpected shit. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of the typical artists that I'm used to really wowed me this year. You know what I mean? Kind of touched on it with Drake. My number 10 was J Hus. Beautiful and Brutal
take.
Yard.
Yeah, that's a great project.
Bro. So, I mean, off the jump, who told you? I hear that song and instantly I'm like, okay, this nigga got a hit on his hands. You know what I mean? I know his relationship with Drake, but that's a thumper. It's something that makes you actually want to dance. You know what I mean? Quote that shit all the time. But then it's the deeper cuts. And the feature choice on this really, really stole the show for me. Nice Body with Georgia. Beautiful. We talked about her a little bit. You know what I mean? She's had a good year when I think she's picked the right collaborations. This was amazing for her. Masculine with Burna Boy.
That is my favorite record.
Bro, and the fact that nigga Burna really freestyled his verse, just pulling up to the studio off the strength, really just did dope shit. High energy project, really, really passionate guy. I obviously don't know this nigga J Hus, but I don't know. I feel like he sees himself as a great, as someone that is I don't know, it's dance hall music, I think. You know what I mean? I think he's one of the people who really popularized it in America. He's one of those people that needs to be given his flowers for what he's done for pushing the genre. You see people like Byron really, really taking it and running with it now this year, kind of Americanizing it a little bit more. J Hus delivered a lot of hits. One other song I want to talk about, bro. Fucking Militarian.
Oh my god. That's my favorite.
Militarian is. I think if you obviously are just getting into the music, listen to Who Told You, whatever. I think Masculine even is pretty accessible. Militarian, once you get a vibe, you catch J Hus's vibe, I think you'll love that song.
All right, well, at number 10,
this nigga.
I'm gonna have to do it, guys. I'm putting Like Deluxe by Ice Spice. Look,
stupid.
Ice Spice has undeniably had one of the best 2023s of any artist. I see the timing you're on. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's not even about timing, bro.
No.
It's about fun, accessible records. That's what people want to hear in the club. You know what I'm saying? Fair. And ever since Ice Spice came on the scene, that's what she's been able to deliver. I do put her at number 10 because obviously there are artists that are better at, cadences, delivery, flows, whatever. But what she's great at is creating moments.
Yeah.
Every single song, no matter how you feel about it, has been a moment. on the internet, in the streets, in the club, in the bars, wherever you frequent, you hear it everywhere. Mm-hmm. She's able to create moments not only inside this project, but with other artists. And I put the deluxe on there because it's got Deli. I think Deli by her.
Still shaking ass on the Deli.
I think Deli by her honestly took the whole
you
thing.
You be shaking ass
to
Ice Spice? Be real.
Yo, bro.
Be real.
You got to. Bro. You have to. What are you talking about? And that's the thing. She brings everybody into her world, right? Girls, guys, whatever. Yeah. It makes you feel like you're a part of this, what does she call it? Like baddie music world?
I'm going to continue the trend, for my number 9 spot. We're talking about, records that are undeniable, that play well in the club, play well for the baddies, all that,
Oh, Earl Sweatshirt Alchemist.
I got bored by Earl Sweatshirt and The Alchemist. Just an incredible project from 2 incredible artists. The soundscapes on this thing are really unique. It sounded like an elevated version of Earl's 2022 project Sick to me. Mm-hmm. I thought the raps were just as interesting and, the metaphors just as intriguing, but Alchemist kind of created, to me, a more unique world on each different track, you know what I mean? And some of these records are insane. Like Vin Scully is one of my favorite incredible Alchemist beefs. And Mancala with Vince Staples. There's just so many joints on here that are incredible, and you can listen to this thing on loop all day and still on your 10th listen discover new things that you love about each track.
At number 9 for me, I got some shit that I feel like people didn't talk about enough. I think in our circle, obviously people appreciated it, but I've loved Sick by Don Toliver.
Yep.
I'm a Don Toliver fan. I think that since this nigga has stepped on the scene with Cactus Jack, Travis Scott, I think that he's done such a beautiful job of like combining worlds of R&B, hip hop, trap music, this Houston kind of chopped and screwed sound. He is a product of just so many things that have traditionally worked in these different fields. And I feel like we almost take him for granted.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
You know what I mean? The nigga delivered a lot of hits off the jump, got a lot of traction off the jump. But this project was him really, really taking sounds that I feel like he's worked on before and elevating them. Company Part 3 is like a standout for me because that's like his R&B ballad. Mm-hmm. Then you got him actually getting a little bit deeper, talking about aspirations, goals and shit on some shit like Encouragement, the closing track. Go Down, he's putting on a young artist like Tisa Corinne that he's really trying to show shine to out of his city. Like, I feel like Don did a lot on this and it feels personal. Mm-hmm. This felt like he was actually giving us a look into him. We obviously know his relationship with Cali. So the love songs felt a little different because you know who he was singing about.
Yeah.
And you see him trying to make that work, you know what I mean? So great.
This
great
had
album.
the best like slow like R&B Don to me.
Yeah.
Out of all of his work. He had like 4 or 5 tracks on here that he really slowed it down and like sang and it was beautiful.
How Do You Sleep at Night by Tizo Touchdown is making my number 9 because of this. Because Tizo Touchdown has been putting in that work for years. You see him on the Tyler Project. You see him on the Don Toliver Project. You see him putting in that industry work for years, finally to get the recognition he deserves. I think this album is really fun. I think it's really creative. I do think that Tizo needs a lot of work, which is why I'm putting him at number 9. I think performance-wise, he's incredible. I do think vocally he could use some improvement when it comes to the performance. I saw him at Flog Gnaw. I had a great time, but I think there's some things that could be improved. But overall with the project, there's some really fun tracks, man. Mm-hmm. That is like one of the most fun tracks of the year,
we were singing it all fucking day.
You know what I'm saying? It's something you could just sing along. And then he's got the song Neighbors, which is like, or Neighbor, which is just like, you know what I'm saying? It's a storytelling song. It shows the potential of him as like a more like a kind of a deeper curator type vibe where he's telling you a story, he's bringing you into his world. I really like this project. I know Miles is looking at me hating right now because he doesn't like it, but I'm a Tizo.
I don't like it.
I'm a Tizo fan.
If you
bro.
slapping it, I can't judge you. What I will say about Tizo, you know what I mean? I know we're probably going to talk about it later. The nigga is one of the most creative people in the industry. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like any of it is someone else telling him to do this. I feel like it all does come from his mind. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I respect the fuck out of that because it takes a lot to take these risks. And when it works, you know what I mean? I think he is inspiring a lot of people, pushing shit forward. It's clearly got the big dogs interested. So all respect to him.
All right, back to it. Yeah, I'll say my piece on Tizo, but my number 8 album of the year this year was Forward by Jordan Ward. Yeah. A new artist to me, someone I wasn't familiar with, got put on at the beginning of the year. I think I got on right before White Crocs came out, and then that came out, and it was everywhere. Tyler was talking about it All the homies were playing it. And just throughout the year, it was just a really comfortable album for me.
Yeah.
An album that I continued to go back to maybe when I was having a bad day, maybe when shit wasn't necessarily going. It felt like a nice warm hug. I cannot even lie to you. Fam Jam 4000 is one of my favorite songs of the year. And it was different. It was comfortable, but not familiar. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because his voice doesn't really sound like anyone else in the game right now. And his songwriting is special too. So it's an album that had a ton of replay value for me. There are moments on there like Cherimoya that are like really, really emotional and kind of give you like I don't want to overuse the Frank Ocean thing, but that kind of
the
vibe.
Nigga could bring you to tears, bro. At points, bro. Yeah. At points.
And just the messaging was super mature and something that I frequently needed to hear this year. So it was an album that I really needed in 2023, and I was really, really happy we got.
The warm hug shit is real, bro. That's how that album really feels.
I didn't want to say it because it's corny, but that shit is a warm hug, bro.
100%. 100%. Something that didn't feel like a warm hug, my number 8 album, A Gift and a Curse by Gunna. This is an album that I think the first time I listened to it, I definitely wasn't ready to hear it. You know what I mean? Because I think Gunna is very transparent on it. You know what I mean? You could tell he's been through some shit. You could tell that he's dealt with some trials and tribulations with friends, family, people around him, trying to really reevaluate his situation. But as someone who I think it's been documented how I feel about Gunna's music for years, it's interesting to see the fun, fashion, get money guy have to go through real shit and like really have to evaluate it and talk about it. And not only that, it's interesting to see him come out on the other side a more mature artist.
Yeah. And a bigger artist than he's ever been.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I think he was put in a situation where it's sink or swim. It's either elevate, get better, rebound from this, and move forward creatively in a different way, because you're not going to have the same resources you used to have. You know what I mean? But you still have the talent. Mm-hmm. So it's up to you what you make out of this situation. You know what I mean? So I think Gunna really, really popped out and gave you, obviously, Fuck You Mean is different, but the lead single, Bread and Butter, I think that shit set the tone perfectly because he didn't sound pussy. Straight up, like, you know what I mean? He came out here like, yo, I'm going for head tops. Like, if niggas want to talk shit, let's talk about it.
I think we're going to hear a lot more from him, but just kind of a different lane. You see he's kind of branching out into Afrobeat.
Oh, I love it. I love the Afrobeat association.
Really good and I think positive transition. And I think he's going for global superstar. Facts. I think we're going to see a lot more from him. This one was really difficult. I didn't know where to put it, but I did want to place it somewhere, especially because a lot of really great projects dropped in this lane. But I'm going to put I Told Them by Burna Boy at number 8.
Okay.
I really, really like this album. I think Burna Boy's taking some risks for sure and diving into a more, well, let's just say it, like more of like a hip hop lane. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he's deviating from Afrobeats, but he's pushing the culture. And I think that there are moments on the album that are really, really positive. You know what I'm saying? Like what we got, I'm blanking.
Day Play.
No.
I like Cheat On Me with Dave.
But we got
that song is so funny to me,
bro. But it's so good.
That's good.
No, I like Cheat On Me. I like why am I blanking out? Oh, I like City Boys, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously a hit. I don't think it really got to where it was supposed to be as a hit. I think the songs that spoke to me more were like Sitting on Top of the World.
Yeah.
Tested, Approved, and Trusted.
Oh my God. Yes.
The more I listen to that Virgil interlude, the more I like it as well. And then
If I'm Lying.
Yeah, no, If I'm Lying is crazy.
Stop playing.
It's crazy, bro.
Started off at number 7. I got Glaucoma 2 by Key Glock.
This nigga funny, bro.
Spencer
want to act like he don't love street rap, but I love that you're being true to your roots.
Bro, I mean, it's just because I think the cream really rise to the top or whatever they say.
Spencer really he from that, bro.
I think the people that separated themselves from the masses really spoke to me this year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I used to listen to a lot of it. But
best name of the year.
Huh?
Best name for an album this year, damn near.
Come
that
on.
shit is fire.
No. Key Glock delivered a project that you can listen to on repeat and get amped to at any time. Mm-hmm. Pretty much no misses. Probably the best beat selection in street rap, in my opinion. Okay. And just like one of the best voices in hip hop. And it's also like like I listen to Key Glock where I used to listen to like a lot of Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Because to me it became very motivational,
Yeah.
especially after Key Glock lost Young Dolph.
Yeah.
And-
R.I.P. Dolph.
Yeah, R.I.P. Dolph, and obviously that was a huge hit for him. His number one collaborator, a good friend, like
Nigga cousin. That nigga whole cousin.
yeah. No, but I think that shown through in the music. He speaks about it a lot on the album, and it's a really inspirational project that also just fucking goes hard.
At my number 7, I have No Thank You by Little Sims.
Nice.
This is that first little awkward entry that we have out of all of us, but it came at the back end of December of last year.
Oh yeah, we should have put this at the beginning, but our time frame was December 2022 to December 2023.
Yeah, stuff that had longevity this year. If they toured this year, if they did if their songs were charting this year, it makes sense. Use your fucking head.
Yeah.
Little Sims has been around longer than I've even known. I think that over the past couple years, because she dropped this. Like what was the album before this?
Excuse me, I might be Introvert.
Introvert, and then Gray Area. So those 3 projects really kind of made me dive in at different points into her history, and every time I get so surprised at how long she's been doing this shit, like really running shit over in the UK. But this was her saying a message that I think a lot of people needed to hear. She's at a more mature place in her life than I am, obviously, but I think she was very relatable throughout the project. So a lot of the themes of self-empowerment, learning to find your voice, learning, I'm a 28 to 23-year-old individual and I'm just now figuring out what I want for myself. How do I speak that into existence? How do I obtain these things, whether it's personal life, work, relationships, all of those things, you know what I mean? It felt very finding self-empowerment, finding yourself in the project, and its title alone, you know what I mean? Like taking back the power and saying like, no, thank you. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. I don't agree with this.
To me, there's never been anyone better in the history of hip hop, internationally. Mm-hmm. I'm talking not Canada, European, than Lil Sims and Dave.
I was about to say
those two have really, I think, established themselves in a league of their own in this UK rap shit.
At number 7, I'm putting For Her by Honcho. Look, if you're from Atlanta, you know who Honcho is. If you don't, look him up. I think the one thing that differentiates him from other artists in Atlanta for me is the growth and the elevation. Okay. The guy is super consistent. He's dropped a project pretty much every year since I've known about him, probably since like 2021. Mm-hmm. He's been super consistent, dropping projects, mixtapes, and really building up that fan base. If you're a fan of like 2C, Rod Wave, No Cap, Rilo, he's kind of in that lane. But he definitely speaks to more of like the kind of like love song,
R&B type
R&B type, like, you know, searching for love, not able to find it type angle, which, you know, I love. You know
That's what Say's bag.
He lives there. I love it. I love the storytelling. I think this new project is very special. I'm actually gonna put the deluxe as 7 because it just dropped last night. It's got this song called Brainstorming on there, which I really like.
All right, we're starting at number 6. I have a work of art by Ashake.
Okay. I ain't put the nigga. I should.
To be honest, this is the only thing I listened to this summer. And this is the epitome. I love an album that I can confidently say is one of my favorite albums of the year, but only tell you 2 or 3 songs out.
You ran to this bitch, huh?
I ran to it. I drove to it. I slept, bro, the whole summer because it was not a song I would click. I would start at the top and just loop.
Yeah.
And those are my favorite albums.
Yeah.
Albums that play beautifully as a whole, albums where there's no misses, and that is this project. There are standouts for me like Sunshine and Basquiat, and Amapiano, obviously. But I think the strength in this album is in just the way that it plays as a whole.
Yeah.
And I'll make myself a little summer vibes playlist, you know, all those sunny day vibes. That's normally my jam, but I did not need to this year because I would literally just play a work of art on a loop and it did everything it needed to do. It was a really, really just strong project.
Something that maybe you wouldn't play on a sunny day, Utopia.
There you
Travis Scott is my number 6.
Twin bitches.
You know what I mean? 2 of them on them jet skis. Yeah, I'm a Travis Scott fan. Niggas know I love Travis.
Yeah,
that's probably one of my like favorite artists ever. I think that Utopia delivered on a lot of my expectations, but also showed Travis more as a curator. I won't say pushing himself because I don't think he did anything super, super out of the box. But seeing Travis grab a West Side Gun, seeing him grab a SZA and a Future, and instead of doing a 3500 type of vibe, which we heard from him with Future, he puts him on a telekinesis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw Travis really position his features in a more strategic way. You can tell that he told them, I need this version of you right now, which I love to see. You get tracks like I Know, which I think I Know is some of Travis's best work, just in terms of like, I think as someone who's always really over the top with production and shit like that, almost finding beauty in the subdued nature.
Yep.
Really simple thing of something like I Know. Then Sirens is like a fucking like sea shanty. Like you could get anyone fucking to vibe to that off the beat.
Right.
He's obviously addressing the shit that happened on something like My Eyes. And I think that Travis is obviously coming off a very turbulent time, but I think he's reacted to it in a way that's authentic to him.
We're doing Larger Than Life by Brent Faiyaz.
Oh,
nice.
Look, Brent.
Speak on it.
Look, man. A lot of y'all were trying to hate on my guy, bro, but he delivered, bro. He gave us an R&B project that felt fun, that felt like it was from the early 2000s, that included local rappers from the DMV and brought them into his world, and it made it feel seamless and effortless, bro. Songs like Outside All Night, bro, Belong to You. Let's see what else.
Forever
Yours. Bro, why is it so hard to like just remember shit when you're talking on this?
Bro, because you get passionate, you get excited about what you're talking about.
Forgetting names and shit.
Pistachios.
Pistachios. Oh my God, what a closer.
Pistachios is like one of the best songs of the year, bro.
That's that shit.
Pistachios. And I was going to say Forever Yours too is like a great song. I mean, I think Brent has done it again, you know what I'm saying? And I think we're seeing him go into superstar status, you know, because he's starting to create projects that are more for him than anyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And really, again, forcing you to step into his world rather than like, trying to create something for the masses, you know, but still create art and still be great.
Nah, honestly, I feel like Brent was like, fuck these niggas. Fuck the sound that's popping right now. Because to be honest, to be 100% honest, everyone's taking from him. Everyone is trying to talk like Brent and put it over their own style of production. That toxic shit, and it's not really toxicity. That's why I love how Brent says it's not toxicity. I'm just being honest. All I could be is myself. Right. If y'all want to call it toxic, that's on you. Because I think a lot of these other R&B niggas is fronting. I don't think they really believe this. Because 2 years ago, I seen you screaming, like, you know what I mean, crying over this girl. So you ain't really, you know what I mean, you ain't this nonchalant like you trying to paint. But Brent said, I see y'all trying to run with the style. Let me switch it up one time from a production standpoint at least. This shit was fire, bro.
You know, all the cute shit aside, let's get to the 5 albums that really defined our year.
Okay. All right.
At number 5, I have 3D Country by Geese.
Okay, so this nigga really going like that. I respect that.
This is an album that fucking hit me like a truck, bro. And I can't remember the last time I was excited about a rock band like this. To be honest, I think Cameron Winter, the lead singer of Geese, is the most exciting male vocalist maybe like in music to me right now, without a doubt in rock. But I haven't heard, he's like the reincarnation of Mick Jagger. I cannot lie to you, but I have not heard a vocalist that's so pure and so unique and dynamic in their delivery in a long time. And this album has everything that I could want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has that true rock band, that kind of, you know, bring the organ in, like real, I don't even know how to describe it. It's groovy, it's cool, but it also has some real good jams.
It's accessible for a rock album.
Yeah.
To someone who's not familiar, you put me onto this completely.
Yeah.
I remember you literally saying like, yo, you should listen to this, but as someone who doesn't listen to rock music, this didn't feel out of left field completely.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of elements I could connect to.
It blends a lot because that's what I'm trying to get at, I think, is there's elements of true rock, there's elements of folk, there's some gospel elements, and there's some jam band elements where they'll really get into these deep jams with some crazy solos. This album, I love this album, love listening to this album, love talking about this album. They're the most exciting young band in the world to me. They dropped 4D Country, which was the deluxe, like a month ago, and it elevated the whole project. Just please listen to this.
Is this your best find of the year?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think so.
Without a doubt.
If you're into artists who have been canceled previously, my number 5, Daniel Caesar, Never Enough.
Oh, okay.
I know
where we're going with that one.
Hey, man, I don't give a fuck about what niggas gonna say, bro. This nigga got the voice of an angel.
Yep.
We knew it. We been knew it. I don't know why people. I do know why. The nigga apologize, whatever. Fuck all the other shit. It is so emotional. The way Daniel Caesar is able to talk about love, talk about relationships, talk about how he feels about another individual in such vivid detail without making the songs feel too wordy. You know what I mean? Like his little one-liners, they hit so hard. Yeah. Like I'm like, damn, like I felt that in my. I love it, bro. Valentina. You could play this whenever, wherever, whatever room you're in. Disillusion, my favorite song on the project. Fucking Vince Van Gogh. You know what I mean? I love the story about him saying that he wanted that to be the lead single, but the whole label was like, no, please, you can't, you can't. Like he's an artist. He's one of the, and like I think that's a theme with me, obviously throughout this whole thing. Is I like the people who are really true artists, you know what I mean, are really throwbacks to like fuck the money, fuck the numbers, fuck all that shit. Like let's make the best music we possibly can.
I'm gonna go on Spencer's type time, bro. I'm gonna go for an album that is really pushing boundaries, shaping the culture. May have not gotten as much recognition as it needed to, but guys, if you're a fan of Afrobeats, R&B, alternative music, if you like artists like Georgia Smith and Sade, you need to listen to Obsidian by Naomi Sheridan.
It's by Naomi Sheridan.
No, this is a top. This is a top 5 album of the year. This nigga's funny. This is a top 5 album of the year.
Speak on it.
And let me tell you why, bro. Came out of nowhere.
He turned
Came out of nowhere, bro. Came out of nowhere and delivered records like Time and Trust. Push with Omalay. How is she getting an Omalay feature? She's nobody, bro.
Because she
came
signed
out of
Drake.
Nowhere, bro. Myrrh, where she sounds completely like the child of Sade, bro. Look, It's super, super early for this, so maybe I'm gassing it. But I think for a new developing artist that has no real name, branding, recognition, or whatever, to come out the gate with a project this strong, it's unheard of, bro.
The only reason you're not gassing it is because she's not some 20-year-old speaking how she's speaking. She's a grown-ass woman talking about these mature subjects and tackling them in a very intelligent way. So, bro, fucks with the album. Fucks with it, bro.
If anything, sure. I think that when I listen to it, I'm like, this is how I would like to approach life, love, and relationships.
Yeah.
The way that, and I think that's what you said is good. She's a little bit older, more mature, and she has just like a wider worldview on what these things should be. And that's why I really appreciate this album, because it's something you could listen to in the car driving, in your crib. You know, it's safe music.
And if you like Cleo Soul.
If you like Cleo Soul too.
If you like Thames.
Sunday morning. This is Sunday morning music.
Sunday morning music. You know what I'm saying?
So good, bro.
But she did manage to squeeze in that one song that could possibly be played outside, which is Push with Omalay.
Yeah.
It's just fire, bro. Oh, you have to listen to this project if you haven't listened. And yes, she had the Drake cosign. We get it.
Not cosign, signed to the label.
Yeah, don't fuck this one up, OVO.
OVO.
Don't fuck
y'all gotta hold this.
All right, number 4. How Do You Sleep at Night by Tizo Touchdown.
Okay, number 4.
Man, I fucking love this album. I'll be honest, there was a lot of hype. I was really excited for it going in. And there was a moment, I loved it on release. We sat with it. Obviously, it got shit on everywhere online. People in my circles were shitting on it. And I was like,
who's shitting on it? Who didn't like it?
I was like, is this as good as I really feel like it is? And then I kept playing it and I'm like, oh, yes, it is. It's not about the hype. It's not about him having a moment in 2 years from now or cosigns or whatever. This music is great and it's fun. And the 6-song run that he starts this album on is the best 6-song run of the year. Like, and I'm not even playing. Like, I will listen to that over and over and over again, all those songs. And you know, we have slightly different tastes in music. You know what I mean? So I know you might not be slapping it, but the diversity we get on those 6 tracks and throughout the whole album is something that feeds everything. It gives me everything I want.
Nah, and honestly, this is the album that I think anyone of all ages could listen to, and I'm not gonna be mad.
You calling me a kid?
No, I'm saying, bro, nigga.
You know why he's gonna win though? Because of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 13-year-old could put this on and I'm not going to be like, turn this off. Do you know how much music a 13-year-old could put on and I'd be like, this is good, bro?
That's
like,
a fact. You
know what I mean? Like, but like, at the same token, I could 100% see someone 40 plus slapping this and finding something they like in it, because it's not that traditional rap music. When you see a black kid doing this, you wouldn't expect this.
Yeah.
But this is really genre defining.
I mean, you know who is easily his best comparison that I don't hear anybody comparing him to?
Gene Dawson?
No, Tierra Whack.
Ooh, I agree 100%.
Without a doubt, his best comparison.
My number 4 album of the year, Larger Than Life, Brent Faiyaz.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. To be honest, I didn't expect to play it as much as I did. Forever Yours is one of the best songs I've heard all year. The beat, the best time ever, or whatever. The second song right after that, crazy. Pistachios, outro. Like, I could click a multitude of songs on this album at random and really be like, damn, this might be my favorite Brent Faiyaz song we come out this year. And I was wary after Where You At.
Yeah.
The first single came out, but I think Brent really, really followed up a project last year with a mixtape vibe. This is 100% giving me a mixtape vibe. It doesn't give like a full length album vibe, but he took a moment to shine a light on younger artists. He took a moment to approach R&B differently and kind of throw back to an early 2000s sound, like you said, which I think is a moment in R&B when it was more universal, when it was more about having fun, when it was more about playing an R&B song outside. Like, niggas ain't trying to hear all respect to whatever street niggas dropping a rap song that like they want to play in the club, bro. But if you in the club with a bunch of women, I don't want to hear shoot 'em up bang bang. I want to hear, you know what I mean? Let's shoot dance or something. You know what I mean?
Bang bang is so funny.
I don't need all that.
Look, man, I have to bring it here. We need to talk about it. Nostalgia by Rod Wave.
Nostalgia by Rod Wave.
Rod Wave is a generational talent, bro. And I'm glad that people are starting to realize it. I'm glad he's starting to get his due. Man is selling stadiums back to back 2 years in a row, bro. Selling out stadiums is unusual and unheard of in the rap game right now.
This nigga sound like a used car salesman.
Let's go.
Buy this Rod Wave ticket right now.
Look, songs like Love for a Thug, Great Gatsby, Rap Beef, Come See Me, bro. He is undeniably one of the greatest in his lane.
I thought you were going to say something crazier.
One of the greatest in the rap game right now. And he's got a different approach. I talked about Huncho before. Huncho is an artist that I see in this lane, but Rod Wave is the top. The very top of what's going on. 100%. And I think he is showing people that it is, you know, obvious. It's kind of cliche, right? But I think he's showing people that you can be fully yourself. You do not have to change a thing and be great. I mean, everything from the outfits he's wearing to, you know, people, you know, make mean comments about different things about him. You know what I'm saying?
Look in my direction.
I know you had something to say about the Trust Fall.
That nigga's hilarious.
That's a big
for
man.
falling off a balcony.
Since he came out the gate, he's uncompromising in his image. And he's starting to get a little creative, too. You got the song Turks and Caicos with 21 Savage. That's not a traditional Rod Wave track. But the consistency and just like the work ethic he puts in has allowed him to get to this point where he can try different things. He can try the Trust Fall because he's selling out stadiums. What else is he gonna do?
Nah, you know, bro. To be honest, I think we've heard the term hood poet used a lot. Mm-hmm. There is nobody in this world right now that can make a street nigga cry like Rod Wave.
Top three. An album that both of my lovely co-hosts have already touched on.
Calling me lovely's crazy. But I like it. I appreciate it.
Larger Than Life by Brent Faiyaz. This shit was addicting, bro. And honestly, I feel like this is timeless music. I feel like this is music that I'm going to listen to at any point in the upcoming 80, God willing, years of my life, bro. And really just enjoy. There's not a lot to be said that hasn't already been said about this, but the music's great. I listen to it all the time. Outside All Night.
Great.
Incredible, one of the best songs of the year, and shout out putting me on new artists too. I love when a bigger artist will put me on someone like New York, LA, who really kind of stole the show on that record. Pistachios, we've talked about it. Forever Yours, we've talked about it. You know,
great project.
It's already been said, but it's just easily one of the best projects of the year.
Number 3. This was expected by my co-host. I get a lot of shit for being a fan of this artist. Number 3, I got Ganger by V. The Geyser, man. To be honest, this is the artist that I got put on like for real, at the back end of 2022 and this year, I became like a full-fledged fan. This nigga dropped a rap album, a street rap album that was refreshing. Didn't sound like some shit I've heard before. Obviously, Detroit, I think, is having a huge moment right now. Michigan as a whole is having a moment. And V's was able to kind of position himself as one of the top people in that lane after being around people like a Babyface Ray, like a I Swear Vezo for years on end. There's fucking moments on here when he's rapping over like fucking like instrumentals that I could hear J. Cole going over, like Unreleased Leak. Then there's like fucking shit like Who Da One, which is my favorite song on the whole shit, where it's like, oh, this is just maybe the prettiest rap beat I've ever heard like all year. Fucking Get Off My Dick, Not a Drill, or that traditional hard shit you expect from Detroit people. V's as an individual though has also been really, really dope to see. I think that whenever he gives an interview, whenever he posts on social media, you know what I mean, he's very transparent about his personality, and I think that bleeds through into the music.
It makes the music so much better.
You know what I'm saying?
It makes the music so much better, bro.
He's
so such a dope guy.
Yeah.
He is so entertaining, bro, on all aspects, on the music, on the personality, watching it. No, he's incredible.
And a lot of it that I'm realizing with a lot of these artists that I think really resonate with me is they are a little bit older. V's is 28 years old, bro. Not to say that that's like ancient or anything, but you know what I mean? People who are seasoned in life. You know what I mean? So you can talk about more things. You have different perspectives on things. And honestly, you're able to kind of put music, superstardom, and the moment into perspective and realize this isn't everything and like the only thing that matters in life. So you're able to kind of talk about fame and like the people around you in an interesting way on the tracks, you know?
My co-host has already talked about it, but I'm going to bring it back up. The greatest artist out of Atlanta ever. Gunna, A Gift and a Curse.
Yep, talk about it.
Number 3.
Go crazy.
The greatest artist out of Atlanta ever.
And you know why I'm saying this?
Future?
There is nobody else out of that area
Outkast
that has overcome the trials and tribulations that Gunna has.
A RICO trial.
A RICO trial and snitch allegations, and he is still on top.
Yeah.
He has had a year.
Definitely.
From releasing one of the greatest projects of the year to having a top 10 Billboard hit and one of the biggest songs of his career. Platinum already. And that's not even the best song. Let's be real, bro.
I agree.
No, that's a fact.
He's got
a fact.
Cash It.
Yep.
Rodeo Drive.
Easy.
A lot of other songs that I'm blanking out on. But look.
Several other hits.
Several other ones. Look, in all due seriousness, bro, like, I know I gassed it up a lot, but Gunna, again, like I'm saying, what we're seeing is unprecedented, especially in hip-hop. You don't really see somebody with the career trajectory that he has. And honestly, shout out to Thug for discovering this nigga. Shout out to Baby for helping him hone in on his writing skills, you know what I'm saying? Because he was writing for Baby as well. You can see the fall off currently.
This nigga want to shoot a shot. This nigga feeling spicy today.
But it's just like, you know what I'm saying? He's clearly just out of his peers, out of his class, out of, you know, the whole group. He's clearly the best one. I really love how he's branching out into Afrobeats, working with Ashake, working with Victor Thompson.
Beautiful.
I think he's just showing that he's better.
Number 2, I have Never Enough by Daniel Caesar.
Yup.
We already talked about it a little bit, but easily the album I played the most this year.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, the album that I played the most this year. Absolutely beautiful voice, like you said. Just, you know, in an era where that's not necessarily the most important thing, and a lot of artists that we're listening to, kind of like we talked about, don't necessarily have that. It's a little bit more special to appreciate those that really do. He is a generational talent.
Yeah.
I don't know any other man that can sing like him.
He's a generational talent is the word that needs to be used when you talk about him.
And to me, I see this album as 3 acts. To me, there are 3 separate sections of this act that revolve around 3 songs that make this album for me. The first being Valentina, the second being Always, and the third being Shot My Baby. And to me, those 3 are 3 of my favorite songs of the year. You could really switch them out for any top 5 song of the year. And then everything in between just works to swell and go back down after those things. And all the filler is equally as beautiful as these moments, but these 3 climaxes on this project are 3 of my favorite Daniel Caesar songs. And that might not seem like it's saying a lot, but in a catalog like he has, to me, that is the utmost praise that I can give him. It's an incredible album. It's the best album that was released in this calendar year, in my opinion.
Yeah, he hasn't really missed in a minute. It's the best love music I've heard in a while. It's
gonna age better than any music in our
100%,
generation.
100%,
when people look back on our generation, they're gonna be talking
100,000,000%.
about Daniel Caesar and SZA, bro.
For my top two, I just want to say both of these two albums I think are like fundamental albums, like in my personal discography. Like I had my songs that like I really thought like, oh, I'm gonna take these albums, these songs with me for the rest of my life. Like this is shit that like makes me me. I think both of these albums have legitimately added to that. At number 2, I have Forward by Jordan Ward.
Yep.
I mean, I could have never in a million years guessed what I would have got out of this project. I was familiar with him from OK and Little Baby Crush a little bit. Like I'd heard those songs like a couple times, didn't really think anything super crazy of either of them. He drops this full-length project starting off with White Crocs, and that was the first time I heard him be on some nigga shit, to be honest. You know what I mean? Where he like got there's a little bit more drums in that one. It's a little bit more hard hitting, got you nodding your head and shit. I'm thinking we're going to get that vibe. I don't care about with Junie.
Yeah,
you know what I
song.
mean? The songs he picked to roll this out were incredible because it made you feel that warm hug that you talked about. This is an album that feels like family.
Yeah.
This is an album that I think we all can understand as you get older, as you deal with some of the things that he's dealt with. We're not around our people all the time. We don't get to see our loved ones all the time, but we have so much care, affection for these people. He puts that feeling into words. Like loving people that you can't physically touch all the time.
100%.
You know, that was really, really big for me. Forward and 311 with Gwen Bunn are like songs that literally legitimately can bring a tear to my eye. Like just because he's so eloquently able to describe feeling and emotions and love and like self-reflection. Like when he said I wasn't ready for everything I ever wanted, you know what I mean? Like that's a feeling I think everyone could understand, you know what I mean? And he says it just so simply, so matter of fact, it doesn't feel pretentious ever.
It's like great artists can describe any feeling to a T and make any feeling feel special.
Yeah.
And great artists make their best work when they're describing feelings that are particularly poignant.
Yeah.
Like family.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about. Like not only is he describing it in a way that is perfect, but he's talking about some of the most important things in life.
And it's like there's music you could play in group settings, and then there's music that brings people together, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I could feel like I could put on Fam Jam 4000 and people will hear it and want to get closer to the speaker. Yeah. And like be like, what is this? And you create a community around that song.
And closer to you, the person playing the song.
Yeah.
That album has a special energy for sure.
It's super, super emotional. For a nigga who be in his feelings more than I would like to, you know what I mean, admit, that shit was just great all year.
I think that this album is special to me, not necessarily because it is going to be an album that I'm always going to listen to, because now that I've branched out into this music a little bit more, I'm finding different artists that I really fuck with. But it was a gateway into a world that like is changing my life right now. And album number 2 is going to be Genesis by Peso Pluma.
Okay.
And I say all this because I feel like I fell back in love with Latin music through Bad Bunny, especially, you know, obviously Un Verano Sin Ti like had a crazy moment last summer, right? And I didn't really know where it was going to go from there, because obviously reggaeton is like kind of the dominant sound right now. But I think with Peso Pluma, I found another almost subgenre of Latin music that is just so unapologetic, so traditional, so traditionally rooted, and just so like unique in itself. I really love this project. Songs like Luna, VVS, Lady Gaga, and Bye to me are like some standout hits. I really think that he's pushed the culture forward and kind of like allowed me to branch out into like some other artists in the genre. We were talking about Chino earlier. I really like Grupo Frontera. I think that they to me are kind of the next. You know, they've already collabed with Bad Bunny, and they're also in a way, if you've seen these shows, they're huge. Bro. Like we're not talking about arenas. We're talking about stadiums full of people that you wouldn't even really know.
But it makes me, as someone who's obviously like an outsider to the culture, and like you couldn't pay me to tell you what these niggas is saying. What I resonate with is when I see any one of them touch the stage, do a visual representation, they got their people behind them. They represent where they're from, and it's like this energy of like the hood almost, you know what I mean? There's a hood everywhere. And I love how they represent that. That's really, really dope to me.
Right. And honestly, it's kind of inspired me. I kind of wish, like, you see some artists doing it now, right? Like, I think that when Asake made the song Yoga, it was definitely way more like traditional leaning and digging back into the roots. But the fact that, like, you know, Peso Pluma is performing with bands and things like that, with like the guitars, and it's so, like I said, it's unapologetically traditional influence.
All right, now we're down to our album of the year, and instead of going back and forth, I kind of have this feeling that we all have the same one. So maybe we can just maybe we can just go down a line and all say our album of the year, and then then open the floor for discussion.
Okay, let's do it.
My album of the year is SOS by SZA.
SOS by SZA.
SOS by SZA.
All right.
Clap it up, bro. Shouts out TDE. Shouts out R&B. Shouts out women in R&B. Shouts out black women. Go. Bro. You know what I mean?
Shouts out good fucking music. Good timeless music, bro. From the start to the finish, bro. A wild ride, yet a cohesive ride. A ride that could speak to everybody. A ride that got play on radio, got play in clubs, got play in my headphones. I don't know. It's for everyone, and it's for me 100% at the same time, and that's super special.
Timeless is the best way to describe it. I think that this is music that is going to grow, is going to age beautifully. I think obviously a standout is Snooze. I think you could play Snooze in 30 years. You could play it for a nigga that's way older than you. You could play it for a child, and they are all going to be like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just great music, great songwriting, obviously great visuals, obviously meticulous like effort in terms of planning and like getting everything together and how it's packaged, how it's presented, the way that she looks. And it's so funny because I feel like SZA is someone who preaches imperfection so often and is so very like, she's very vocal about her flaws, but with her rollouts, with the music, with the album, it's all so strategic. It's a very interesting juxtaposition.
Definitely.
And it had to be because, like, bro, Control is a timeless project. But when you have songs like Kill Bill, like, obviously resonate with so many people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something I necessarily relate to, but when you go to the concert and see it in person, you're like, damn. Like, this shit is different and changing people's lives. And then she's also able to have, like, more fun songs, like Smoking on My X-Pac. You know, it's just, like, a little fun bop. But there's something for everybody on there.
Bro, she's a representation of intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, yo, exactly.
Because I don't want to kill my ex, you know what I mean? But that's, like, that rage or, like, that feeling that you get when you are dealing with someone and you no longer are. She's able to just put it into a one-liner. It's like, I'm just going to say exactly what you're thinking, and you know it's a song, you know it's music, so I'm not actually going to do it, but let's just say it because we're feeling it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just be honest for 2 seconds in this life where we're always fake. You know what I mean? Let's actually say what we're feeling, you know?
Definitely.
Dope shit.
And the acoustic version of Snooze, bro.
Stop.
Man.
Incredible. Forgiveless. Like,
it's
she
crazy.
could out-rap your favorite rapper for real.
It's crazy that she can have tracks like Kill Bill and like Snooze, but also tracks like SOS the intro and Forgiveless the outro.
Bro, and then we're not talking about F2F. Like, bro.
Well, I don't know, because those are moments that I feel like are so like cool and niche and different and something that I listen to in my car, but then you have like the bigger songs of the year on here too. It's really for everybody. I can't think of one person that would not like this album.
No, facts. And it's dope to see like a Ghost in the Machine and F2F, songs that are more in that poppy kind of alternative, I'm just going to say Taylor Swift type lane. It resonates with those fans. So she's clearly executing it on a high level.
Yeah.
So that just shows that this isn't like fake versatility. This is legitimate. I could dibble and dabble in whatever genre I want and really, really kill shit. And like do it at the highest. Like, she's one in a million. I think that it can't be glossed over, like the team around her. Because, you know, SZA's going to get praise. SZA's going to sweep the Grammys. we all love the album. We've all talked about it. So like just highlighting the team around her. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, Punch is doing just all right
like
now.
Them niggas,
he's doing just all right
Definitely.
now.
Like, bro, it's a full whole picture and story with this album. It felt like a moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the album. It was literally a whole moment that lasted damn near the entire year.
Right. And she's really feeding the fans because it sounds like a deluxe is coming very soon.
I know she keeps dropping those photos with the little explicit
Yeah,
lyrics.
trust me. And PSA will be on it because she rips every version of that off fucking SoundCloud every fucking week, bro.
All right, since that was all of our top albums, I've got 3 questions for both of you about the album.
Whoa.
I'll start with Osei. I'm gonna ask favorite tracks first off.
I'm scared. Let's see.
I'm scared.
I mean, I feel like I mentioned them all. I feel like Snooze.
Just one.
Favorite track.
Snooze.
Favorite. You got to pick
Just one?
one.
Oh, Snooze.
Snooze.
For sure.
Miles?
Good Days.
Okay.
If I can count that,
Ooh.
Good Days, but if
You
I
can-
can't count singles, Forgiveless.
Mine is SOS, the intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second is A Sleeper.
A sleeper on there.
Osei?
Sleeper on there.
It's hard to say a sleeper on an album that sold so well, where everybody loves it, but you know, one that might not get as much play as you think it maybe should.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I said them all. Like, I think low-key Smoking on My X-Pac. I know that's like
No,
not...
definitely good sleeper. That could be a sleeper.
Yeah,
that shit is just funny to me.
I love
Like,
that song. I love that
I
song.
love it. I think it plays into like, you know what I'm saying, the intrusive thoughts thing that you said. Like, it's just like so almost random, but so perfectly placed. At the same time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go far. Just like we're talking about dealing with rejection off the jump. Like that's a real song. That's like an uncomfortably real song for like anyone. Like fuck relationships, fuck all that shit. Like this is life. Like
Yeah.
dealing with rejection in life. That's a tough one.
Can I get Gone Girl as a sleeper?
No, that is not a sleeper.
It's
You
not a
cannot
sleeper.
do Gone
No.
Girl. You got to do a different one. You got to do one without a music video.
I guess that's true. I'll do Smoking on My X-Pac too. I love
Okay.
that song.
Okay.
And my last question is Control or SOS?
SOS. SOS is, and I meant to say this in like the whole, like, I mean, this is going to be in there, but like, this is Lauryn Hill. This is Lauryn Hill vibes to me, this project. This is like you had a point you wanted to execute, and it was a broad point. You were trying to talk about she was almost talking about like the human experience type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this was so versatile. So like, yeah, Control felt like someone growing up still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And dealing with that. This is a more mature, but both are great. But I go SOS.
Osei?
I kind of in the same lane as Miles, right? I think that probably SOS, just because I felt like Control. I mean, looking back on it, it's kind of juvenile. Like it's talking about relationships. You know, we talked about Naomi Sharon. Like it's talking about relationships from such like a young perspective and such a like desperation to find it. Whereas SOS is more just like fuck it. Like this is me. I don't really give a fuck about like, you know, whether this guy's into me or not. Like we ball. Move, we're gonna keep moving. And I think it's got more songs that I like too. Like when I look back on it. So
Okay.
I'm going to say they're both 10 out of 10. I'm going to say Control. Just personal pick, just because of cohesion and nostalgia are the two things that I think Control really has for me. You know?
Can't be wrong with either.
Yeah, they're both 10 out of 10. You know, they're both incredible.
Because
albums.
Control Deluxe is dangerous, bro. Control Deluxe is crazy, bro. Shout out Miles on that album too. That shit fire.
What?
There's a song called Miles on there.
Yeah, what is he talking about, bro?
There's a song called Miles on the
All right,
Deluxe
let's
of
pack this
Control.
up. That was our top 10 albums of the year. Let us know what you think was right, what you think was wrong, whose list you resonate with the most.
Facts and why it was mine.
Any albums that maybe none of us mentioned that we definitely should have, drop them in the comments and let us know.
Man, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for another year. And make sure to tap into all the other year in content. We got a songs list. We gonna have the final wrap up pod.
All that.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yup.
Catch y'all next one, man. Peace.
peace.